Pretty cool. That's right. Where actually the criminal conduct occurred. Well, I'm going to.
Chris is going to go with you.
I'm going to ask the police to arrest them.
You're going to go with Tino. We're going to hold most of the crowd back, but they're going in.
They figured us out. They figured us out.
Well, I'll still be polite and kind.
I will.
Ask for our group of three to approach. Be very respectful.
Of course.
Exciting. We're going to go right into the police headquarters and do something. What kind of action could we be doing in there? I'm going to hold the crowd back and you go in and see what happens.
Let's see what happens here. Me? I'm not the magician, man.
The quietest march I've ever not heard.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, we're not getting in. Excuse me, who's in charge of this? We would like to submit a letter to your chief of police.
I have a document. There's no entry at HQ right now.
There's no entry?
So headquarters is closed.
Well, I can mail this. I'll do a registered mail. Would anyone like to receive this on his behalf?
If it's addressed to the chief, I'm not going to accept it.
No?
You can send it through mail.
Send it through mail? Anyone else like to receive this on behalf of the chief of police? Just an open letter. We're going to be reading it to the citizens today. Anybody? We're doing this for your family and kids. I just want you to know that, okay? And your jobs. Jobs in your future. They're playing you like fools right now, okay? You know that. You're not going to have a job in a few months. There's going to be military patrolling these streets. And we'll be here waiting for you. We're really the ones that are fighting for the country right now. Just know that, okay?
Tino, man.
They won't let me in.
Tino, man. Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay, so neglect of duty in the Police Services Act and the regulations in the schedule under Code of Conduct is fails to report a matter that is his or her duty to report, or fails to report anything that he or she knows concerning a criminal or other charge. I have a criminal information here against the Lieutenant Governor. I'd like to give this document to a police officer. Lieutenant Governor did commit many criminal code violations, including culpable homicide. And if you don't like culpable homicide, which is 229C of the Canadian Criminal Code, it'd be 220, criminal negligence causing death, as lockdown suicides become murder. And it's not just lockdown suicides becoming murder, it's health-related lockdown deaths also become murder. Criminal negligence causing death. Also, section 83.01 bracket 1, terrorism, and 83.231 bracket 1, hoax regarding terrorism. The declaration of emergency discussed the resources in 7.0.1 bracket 3 of the Emergency Management Civil Protection Act. The report on the declaration of emergency never once discussed the circumstances, resources, or the criteria for making the emergency. It's deemed to be a hoax. So I'd like to give this criminal information because an essential service has been obstructed and interfered with. The population has no access to the criminal court system via a justice of the peace. You can hand this into the JP office, or there's a technical term for it, Superior Court of Justice. They'll accept the application, but they're not processing the application. So since March 17th last year, nobody's been able to see a justice of the peace on a private prosecution. So this, please, no name calling. We would like the police to lawfully take into custody the Lieutenant Governor and question the Lieutenant Governor regarding the 53 violations of either criminal code or statutes in this document. I'd like to hand it to a police officer. So please do not commit neglect of duty, which would be misconduct. Please take this document.
You're citizens as well.
Can you all take it together?
Yeah, no, just be nice, please. Stay nice. I know you are.
Let them serve.
We know it's hard for you.
Yeah, and it's
We're
hard.
nurses.
And it's hard to go after the Lieutenant Governor, but you can go after the Lieutenant Governor using Section 1B of the Canadian Bill of Rights. You can also use Section 15 of the Charter, equal benefit and equal protection of the law. No one is above the law, including the Lieutenant Governor. Same with any person that works as your superior officer or your colleague. You can arrest your superior officer if they're preventing you from doing your duties as to safeguard the fundamental rights and freedoms in the Human Rights Code, which is your duty under Section 1.2 of the Police Services Act. So I please lawfully take into custody the Lieutenant Governor immediately. The Lieutenant Governor works over at Queen's Park over there. I don't know where the Lieutenant Governor actually resides, but there also is a residence there. There's much more criminal information. Section 176, violating assemblies or church-related issues, okay? It's also an indignity to a dead body when a person has funeral arrangements and they can't have people that they love or did love while they're alive at their funeral, or even receive the funeral that they paid for. That is an indignity. So that's violating Section 182, indignity to a dead body. Section 218, reckless endangerment of children. The orders, the Lieutenant Governor, through order, recklessly endangered the lives of children. And under the Terrorism Act, the statute of the Criminal Code, Section 4, I believe, or subsection 4, it states that if there's a death in terrorism, it's life in prison. So the police can also act as part of their duty to participate in the prosecution of the Lieutenant Governor, to put the Lieutenant Governor in prison for life. Let me read you domestic terrorism, please. Lieutenant Governor did cause public intimidation with regards to security, including economic security, causing persons to do or refrain from doing any act such as freedom of assembly, freedom of the right to the gaining of a livelihood. I mean, how crazy is that? How would you like to not work? Freedom to not breathe in one's own carbon dioxide, among other things. This recklessly endangered the lives of children, elderly, the vulnerable, and the healthy segment of the population. The Lieutenant Governor also caused serious disruption and interference of essential services. Just take note, I'm actually copying sections out of the Criminal Code in these words. The Lieutenant Governor never supplied sworn records or sworn proof of the criteria and circumstances for a declaration of emergency, and never disclosed which resources or circumstances existed in Section 7.0.1, bracket 3 of the Emergency Management Civil Protection Act. It's deemed a hoax without such sworn under oath demonstrably justified proof required by Section 1 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which is your duty to safeguard under Section 1.2 of the Police Services Act. They acted with intention and wanton and reckless disregard for the lives of the population, causing severe hardships, reckless child endangerment, and suicides. The report on the 129-day declaration of emergency did not divulge the resources, criteria, and circumstances for the declaration of emergency, either last year or this year, and nor was it ever divulged under oath to the population at any point. It can be easily said that the resources in question, 7.0.1, bracket 3 of the Emergency Management Civil Protection Act, were staples or paper clips. That's just a guess. Was it staples or paper clips? Or was it tap shoes because people were dancing in the hospitals? The Lieutenant Governor failed to disclose sworn records containing proof that the alleged SARS-CoV-2 virus in fact exists, as Ontario Public Health has no records. And the Ontario website even says deaths are included whether or not COVID-19 was determined to be a contributing or underlying cause of death. That's right from the Ontario government website. Also, Dr. Fauci said there was no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases. Okay, now, so please accept this document. It's criminal information. Would this be considered littering if I dropped here? Would this be considered? I'm serving. I don't want to be charged with littering if I drop this to you. Can somebody drop this? No, I don't want to ask anybody. I don't want to be party to an offense. So you can also arrest your chief of police or your staff sergeant or your inspector or superintendent or your deputy chief or anyone else who's preventing you from safeguarding the fundamental rights and freedoms in the Human Rights Code. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
drop it.
Sorry?
I'll drop it.
Okay.
I will, yeah.
Just before you do, what if the crowd goes away?
You're hurting yourself. You're hurting
I
yourself
don't know. I
and
have
your
no idea.
families.
Can you video him drop
It's
it?
all a scam.
And make sure you get my contact.
We're becoming communists. We want to live in a communist.
Hey guys, since you won't take this, I'm going to leave it here. I hope this doesn't get me a littering fine or anything, but please deliver this. This matters. It's your job, guys. Please. We're not angry with you guys. Please, okay? Please. Pass that on, okay?
No, stop the name calling.
It's okay. But please, guys, please.
Stop the name calling. We're asking you to perform a duty.
Human to human, please.
Thank you very much for listening.
Well, that's that.
Time to go. Be louder.
All right, so we're heading back to Queen's Park.
All right.
What time is
It is 12:21.
Okay, so we're heading back to Queen's Park, guys. I'm gonna kill this live because that completes the special event for today.